Now I would like to show you another game where I successfully faced Petrov defense. It was played 3 months after my games against Morozevich and Motylev, and it was also in the rapid chess tournament in Benidorm, and I faced Anatoly Karpov. Well, I must say that I did not expect such a success of this system against Petrov defense, and since I had many other ideas against Petrov defense, so after that match Russia against versus the world, I tried something else as white. But when it came to this game against Karpov, and I also lost to him in Petrov defense as white 1 month earlier, then I decided to try this system again, knight c3. In general, in 2002, this system became extremely popular after my games against Morozevich and Motylev. Many people started trying it. And I would say that in 2002 it was the most, and in 2003 it was the most popular way to challenge Petrov defense in general. And I remember I even got thanks from some other grandmasters saying that now they know what to do against Petrov. Okay, it just lasted maybe 2 years, after which black found some reasonable defenses. So Karpov plays bishop e7 and I play bishop f4 again. So castling, queen d2, knight d7, castling, knight c5. Once again we come to the same position, and once again I'm playing here bishop e3, and Karpov is playing bishop e6. I think nowadays they don't play bishop e6 any longer. They prefer some other tries, like for example rook e8, wait until white puts his bishop on c4, then he would play bishop e6, and also then knight sometimes goes to e4, but okay, this is modern theory. So as we remember, Motylev also played bishop e6, but after king b1 he played a6. Karpov is trying different plan. He plays queen c8, but soon he also finds himself lagging in development. So knight d4, bishop d7, h4. I just play my normal plan. Rook e8. So f3, bishop f8, g4. So if bishop f8, g4. So if in my game against Motylev I did not play g4 at all, I was concentrating on the play in the center. Here, once again, just like in my game against Morozevich, I want to make the pawn assault on the king side and open his king. Due to the fact that this queen c8 move was a bit strange, in fact I didn't even understand the meaning of that move, black lost some time and white's attack is already there. Black has practically no time to create his counter-attack on the king side. So, meanwhile, Karpov is trying to at least change some of my attacking pieces. So he plays knight e6, h5, knight takes d4. Now I took on d4 with the pawn, because I understood that maybe I would not be able to mate black in this position, so I'm also trying to get some positional advantages. And of course, to have 4 pawns like this is much better than to have 4 pawns but 2 of them doubled on the c file. So if I played bishop takes d4, I would have to be completely sure I would mate black. But since I was not completely sure, especially in rapid chess, I decided to take with the pawn. So bishop c6, okay, attacking the f3 pawn, rook h3. Just like in the game against Morozevich, I put my rook here and I want to play g5, g4. Karpov goes bishop d5. Okay, creating some small threat of bishop takes a2, king takes a2, queen e6 check, and winning the bishop. But most importantly, trying to maybe bring the bishop to defensive. Some like f6, bishop f7, So I'm trying not to let him do this. I play c4. So bishop c6. Now he wants to open the center a little bit, so I play d5, getting the space, bishop d7, and bishop d3. So now I have a serious space advantage, and I already want to play queen, well, not yet because my bishop would be hanging, but something like bishop d4, queen c2, open his king because h7 pawn would be hanging, h6, rook g3, and then g5. So in fact my plan is simple, and probably one can say that white's advantage is serious because, okay, I have the space, I have already prepared the attack on the king, and black has nothing. So he played c5, at least preventing me from putting my bishop on d4. Well, now I have to say that I probably made a mistake because I was looking only at his king. I mean, it still worked in the game, but sometimes you need to look at the whole board. And in that sense, maybe it was better to exchange on c6 and still put my bishop on d4. It would be better for the further attack. Well, I suppose Karpov would want to take with the pawn maybe, but bishop d4 is still very strong. So, okay, I wanted to keep all this space advantage, and also I thought that in a closed position it would be even easier for me to mate black, but after I played bishop f4, some at least small counterplay started. So he played b5, pawn takes, queen b7. So I play queen c2, he plays h6. So now it's a kind of a race which I could avoid if I just exchanged the pawns on c6. But okay, I just thought that in this race I would be many moves ahead. So I played rook g3, bishop takes d5, g5. But as I said, I had to be very careful about those things because now one active bishop is changed to the passive bishop. So I have one active piece less. Bishop d3, queen d3, rook a b8. And if until here I did more or less the right things, okay, it was better to take on c6, but bishop f4 was also a good move, but the position already became quite complicated that the following mistake is enough to miss the advantage. Okay, obviously black wants to mate me, so I play rook g2. It seemed to me very logical because rook is still on the attacking position, so it can also defend the b2 pawn meanwhile. But it allows intermediate move, which fortunately Karpov did not see. But this intermediate move would be bishop, queen b4. So the important thing is that black attacks the bishop. I cannot defend it with the rook because on b2, and I cannot defend it with the tempo like bishop b2 because queen takes b2 mate. So I have to play bishop c1, and now, okay, there are not that many pieces on the board. Black actually can defend his king with his bishop on f8, so black can just take this pawn, and okay, it's already a mess. Rook takes g5, rook e1 can come, changing the rooks, so white's advantage is already minimal. So then the question is, what should I have done to prevent this active plan? The answer is simple. Instead of rook g2, I had to play queen c2. There is only one small difference, is that after queen b4 I have bishop d2 with the tempo, but this difference is enough to keep the big advantage. Well, fortunately after rook g2, maybe due to the fact that in rapid chess there is not much time, so probably Karpov was already in time pressure, he took on g5, after which I am back with all my attacking plans. Bishop takes g5, yeah, queen b5, queen c2. So I got all what I need in this position, but this is because of Karpov's mistake. And of course, I'm really coming towards his king. Bishop f6 is the next move. So he played king h8 and rook g1. So now bishop f6 just is a irresistible threat. So he goes rook e5. So now the good question would be, why didn't I play bishop f6? Ah, yes, because I saw that after rook takes h5, sometimes it's not so easy to give the mate. And then, of course, all these things that I was very short of time again. And this is... now, of course, there is a mate. I can take... Well, if not mate, at least bishop e5 check, bishop takes d6. Yes, it's a mate in a few moves. So what happened? Well, probably the only answer is that the time was really running. So yeah, bishop f6 would be just winning the game immediately. I played h6, which seems enough as well, but then Karpov took on g5. Well, I think I know what happened. After rook takes g5, I thought I would take on g7, rook takes g7, rook h1, king g8, h8, queen h7 mate. But the problem is that here black can take with the bishop and take on b2. Queen takes b2, rook takes b2. Meanwhile, this position is of course winning as well. After king c1, black can resign. But somehow in time trouble I started getting nervous and making errors. So instead of this, I took on g5 and he played g6. Okay, of course white is still winning his exchange up, but it was much closer to the win before. So the game almost starts again. So I played f4, trying to get f5, bishop takes h6, rook h1, king g7, queen c3, f6, and okay, I have to say that that I really did many wrong things in order to get into this position, because we saw how winning it was. But okay, rook g4, yeah, queen b4, and I had to change queens now. So rook h4, rook h8. Fortunately, even here, having exchange for a pawn, I'm still winning. So I play king c2, and okay, Karpov played g5, taking rook c8 check, king b3, bishop takes g5. I gave this check and took the pawn on a7. Okay, the game score is lost because on the database only gives the moves until here. This is probably something happened with DGT board. We were probably playing too fast, and so therefore the rest of the game is not stored. Okay, I remember that despite the fact that it was rapid chess, but with 10 seconds per move, it was not so difficult for me to convert my advantage into the win, because somewhere I promoted the a-pawn. So I remember that the rest of the game I played rather confidently and won. But as you can see, I could win many times before. Well, still I was very happy after this game, because this was my third victory in the same system, and more or less with a similar attacking plan on the king's side. People were even started saying that I refuted the whole Petrov defense. Well, I would like to have done that, but unfortunately it's not the case. Chess is played by both sides, white and black. Soon players who liked to play Petrov found good ideas for black, and it still holds on quite well. But okay, it's a nice remembrance of winning with attack against Petrov defense.